true. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, it wasn't anything egregious by any means.
No.
I didn't think it was more of a suspension. I mean, like a slap on the wrist maybe, but I didn't realize that.
Well, I
the
think it was
ego
more. It was
that
more from
fragile.
like Learfield, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because Learfield employs him.
Right.
So let's see here. Yeah, 'cause Learfield employs
Hey,
him.
there we are.
There we are.
So are we live or is this your
Yeah, we're live right now.
No.
Yep, grab that microphone and pull it about 5 inches away.
Yeah,
There
just,
you go.
Alright,
I just got the announcement.
Oh yeah,
being a
we're
sub,
going.
being a sub, so Eric Hansen will be on.
Oh,
here
yeah.
soon.
Is he probably watching already?
He probably will be.
Okay,
Sure.
episode 7, Project Ion. With us we got special guest Adam Forsyth
Hey, everybody.
and Andy Spurgeon in the building, of
Hello,
course.
back.
Kyle Grims.
Hi.
We made it.
Sorry, I'm a little
Enthusiasm's
salty.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long day. And,
How tired are you on a scale of like 1 to
Snorlax.
yeah, 1 to Snorlax, I'm like an abracadabra or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Oh,
Or Drowsy, that's his name.
Drowsy?
That was a good Pokemon. That was
Drowsy
probably my
was a good
favorite.
Pokemon.
this guy got the
We're
new
at 30, so
Pokemon
we
game
talk about
Oh,
Pokemon.
did ya?
What the hell?
So, oh, is that on
on my Switch.
So you got, oh yeah, nice.
I got Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah.
I thought my girlfriend was gonna break up with me.
Alright, here we go right away. Mount Rushmore Pokemon.
Ooh, ooh, 4 of them.
Mount Rushmore Pokemon.
Oh, see, this is changing now because of that. Okay.
You got, well, you were a Squirtle guy to
Yeah.
start with, right?
Yeah.
I gotta pull my Pokemon
Blue
again.
version?
Can't remember that.
So I gotta go with Blastoise though.
Yeah, he's,
Okay.
he's the kid.
Big,
So, yeah.
Big Bulbaturtle.
That makes sense.
Absolutely rips on rocks. and,
Yeah.
Then I really liked Voltaires, the bird.
Yep.
The
Is he the fire one?
uh,
or is-
the Zappy one.
Okay, okay.
Or was that Zapdos?
Zapdos,
I think it was Zapdos. I haven't gotten that far yet
There was, what the heck are the birds?
in my quest.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I'm
Voltaire.
keep
I thought
thinking of the
Voltaire
Well,
was
Eevee.
wasn't that an
evolutions.
Eevee evolution?
Yeah,
Voltaires?
because you could choose 3 different types, I thought.
Or, yeah, you could, it, depending
Vaporeon,
on
Vaporeon, yeah.
Flareon.
Flareon.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm kind of a fan of Pidgey just because that's the only
Yeah, yeah, right away.
I gotta go with Onyx too.
Yeah, he's.
Okay.
Onyx
Yeah.
was the tits.
Yeah, that was the big one.
Big rock snake.
Brock's.
Brock's,
Jim,
Brock's
yeah.
homie.
I
Yeah.
ran around until like 4 o'clock in the morning with a bunch of drunk people in Madison, Wisconsin trying to catch one of them because they're dead.
Oh,
Pokemon
Go.
Go?
Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, everybody in town played it. You walk down the street and there were literally hundreds of people all over
Yeah.
the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the thing for like
It was
3
the
months.
coolest, bizarre thing
It got,
Yeah, it
it
was
got
weird.
straight up banned. I was working at the Children's Hospital in Kansas City when it came out, and all the nurses, all the pharmacists, like we all had our phone. And it got banned
Some
because
dude's
someone was
choking
trying
on
to.
something, you're just
Well,
like,
someone
hold
was trying to catch a Pokemon, and I think they might have got some like a patient picture
Oh,
of their face or
Ooh.
something, which straight up HIPAA violation. So
Oh.
they shut that down. But I tossed a lure outside of the kids' windows every morning as I was walking into work, so it just sort of rattled.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, when that dropped, I was in law school still, and it was summer. I was taking evidence in the summer, and it was a pretty small class, but we were all playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
But it was in the evenings because, you know, the summertime, everybody's interning and stuff during the day.
Right.
So all the coursework is at night. We were all afraid to leave campus because
It's
Drake.
Drake.
After dark.
Yeah. We just walk laps around campus.
Yeah.
I
I caught the same one for the
about
fourth
Drake
time.
back in the day.
It's I think in the first maybe 6 months I was there was 9 homicides within like 5 blocks of my apartment.
I had one fall or winter, Dad came down in the morning and there were 2 butt prints and an empty syringe on his car.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like, of course, I think the place that he was living was torn down and it's not the new library. But
Yeah, we've had a few exchanges. We try to one up each other with who's got the nastiest
Drake story.
Drake
I'm
story.
kind of afraid to hear those.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's
It's
funny.
weird though. I mean, you're driving through the ghetto in Des Moines and then all of a sudden you pass a block and it's campus.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's very weird. And then you don't have to go too far west on University from Drake till you get into like Windsor Heights,
Yeah.
or
Right.
the Waveland neighborhoods. It's not bad at all.
Which isn't bad.
Yeah. No, that was the first place that I was a licensed field director, was down there. I never had to go around the Drake area.
Mm-hmm.
We were on the north side of town,
Ooh.
but yeah, no, Des Moines is a fun town.
My dad grew up on the north side.
I was at Merle Hay Funeral Home right on the Auto Mile.
Okay.
I guess what, I ended up there right after it was purchased, from somebody else, and they put up a big yellow banner that sits under new management, kind of like it was a fast food restaurant. And that's kind of how we were perceived, but I mean, no, Des Moines is a cool town though. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was there, that was when it was starting to become trendy, and
Mhm.
the area between the river and the capital was just kind of being built up and
Yeah.
artsified, and that's not a word I just made.
And now it's Des Moines legit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of young professionals, a lot of tech companies are
A lot of
swooping in,
insurance
and
people. Insurance is huge.
Insurance is
Yeah.
big in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has it ever not been big in Des Moines?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not.
J. Benjamin's is a good restaurant down there too. That was on Beaverdale. I think it was Beaverdale.
That's not far from Drake, man.
I don't think I ever. Yeah, Beaverdale isn't far at all from Drake. I don't think I ever tried that.
It was a little restaurant, had like seating for like 30 or 40
Yeah.
people.
Did you get hammered at Peggy's?
Nope.
Really?
I think I only went out drinking like twice in my 2.5 years there.
Dang, dude.
That was my part-time job.
Well, yeah, I mean like I was there for one thing and
That's true.
Yeah.
It
And
was-
and you were doing like straight through, right?
yep, I
Like,
didn't.
no breaks.
Yeah.
No.
So you did
Yeah.
2.5.
2.5 years. I started in the summertime and went solid all the way through till December.
That's gotta be a long 2.5 years.
It was awful, and then to finish with the studying for the
And
bar.
then straight up bar. Yeah.
Did you said it took you 2.5, is that
Yeah.
right? Okay. So, what were your summers like? Were they crammed? I don't remember how that worked out. Did you have a full load in summer?
No, it wasn't. Usually it was like maybe 6 credits or something in the summertime. But
Did you have 12 in the regular?
yeah, 12 or up.
Yeah.
I had a few 15s.
Ugh.
Ooh.
I'll miss any part of school,
Yeah.
even though I worked
Yeah,
I never did less work than when I was in college.
there.
Yeah, well, and then the other thing, I was sort of semi-commuting almost because I was running back on the weekends whenever possible.
Laura was up
Laura was
here.
still here teaching, and she was really good, a good sport about it. She would drive down, we'd kind of split. She'd drive down sometimes, or try to make it easy, but unless we had something going on. But
Meet in Fort Dodge.
yeah.
Romantic weekend.
Yeah, right.
A lovely weekend in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Said no one ever.
Yeah.
Let's go hang out in the flats.
I went to a pretty sweet bowling alley there a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Fort Dodge has got some good bowling
Is
alleys,
your
huh?
lady friend from that neck of the woods?
She lives in
kind of?
Fort Dodge.
She lives in Fort Dodge.
Her first
okay.
job was there at the hospital there, and then now she works at the hospital in Humboldt.
Refresh my memory. What's she do again?
Megan is a social worker,
Okay.
hospital social worker.
How far is Humboldt? About half an hour? It's pretty much a
From
bedroom
Dodge,
town.
yeah, it takes her about 30 minutes exactly from
Okay.
like her driveway to the parking lot. So, you know, I drove like 35, 40 minutes to my last job,
Yeah.
commuting in Kansas City, just because you couldn't live within 15, 20 minutes of my hospital. In the ghetto, on a cold and gray Chicago morning, when the baby child is born in the ghetto. Research medical
Hey,
science.
Cartman.
Speaking of that, God, the new episodes are great.
I haven't watched them. I have them
Oh,
all on my
man.
DVR. I haven't cracked in yet.
Oh, they are so funny.
Did they continue the storyline from last year with the whole Mr. Garrison turns into Donald Trump and
I haven't seen. They brought back Al Gore and Man Bear Pig,
good.
and so Man Bear Pig is obviously now the play on climate change. So Man Bear Pig is real now, and everybody thinks he's make believe because he's Man Bear Pig and climate change.
But is he just like messing everything up?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's totally annihilating
I'm
everything.
going
Like,
up on my South Park, guys. I'm not caught up to this season.
oh, it's
everyone before. at
Freaking
least.
hilarious. Butters and Clyde are gay, I think, but that's just because everyone tells them they are. So they just think they are.
Fantastic.
Isn't
Yeah.
that kind of like,
Yeah, I wonder if that's kind of, you know.
I'm not going to touch that. subject.
Right.
Hey,
No,
no
it's
subject
awesome.
is off limits on this podcast.
Yeah.
Well,
It
you know,
says so
it's-
on the description.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's so eerily similar to what seems to be going on in
it's
real life in certain
genius.
places.
Oh yeah.
It
But
is.
it's the way that they write that show is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have an ability to satire stuff that I don't think you can find anywhere else.
Yeah.
No,
Or at least not to the same degree.
I think we were talking about that one time on here that South Park can put out like an episode in like a week,
Yeah.
whereas like The Simpsons
Yeah.
it takes 6 months to
Right.
get cleared and get out on live or
There's
on
a-
there.
Have you seen the
There's
documentary?
a documentary about that.
Oh.
7 days to air.
Yep.
Really?
wow.
And because my favorite example was the Washington Redskins one.
Oh yeah, you were talking about
Go
that.
fund
video.
yourself.
That's right.
And like RG3 gets hurt on Sunday, and by Wednesday they have Kirk Cousins instead of RG3 in the South Park episode.
You know,
Wow.
actually, I was kind of making that comparison in my head because, 15 years ago, celebrities used to say, well, you're not really anybody until you've been on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But I mean, now you're the same thing about South Park.
Yeah.
Unless you've been parodied on The Simpsons,
Mm-hmm.
or I mean, on South,
South
Park.
Park,
Yeah, it's.
Right. Because they're the most current events, and they really have like nothing's off limits. Like, they,
Yeah, and I appreciate that too.
Oh, I do too.
You know.
Especially today.
Yeah, they make fun of everybody equally.
Or you
Well,
get kicked off air if you say you have a horrible recruit that puts his head down and drives into a double team.
When you do have a horrible
Yeah,
recruit,
yeah, when
drives
I
down
do.
and drives
Yeah.
into double teams.
Ah man.
Yeah, that was
We need it though. We need South Park.
Yeah.
2 games, right?
Yeah.
No,
2
shit,
game
That's going on
suspension.
today. Yeah, we need South Park.
I'm not a big Gary Dolphin fan, but I'm even less of a fan of being politically correct. So
Well, that's good.
yeah, that was awful.
Appreciate
Speaking of Gary Dolphin, I worked at the athletic department. He and I had a run in. I was cleaning up after a basketball game, I think, and he's doing like his post game.
Yeah.
And
Where do they broadcast from?
Carver, right on the floor.
They're on the floor?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to like have to pick up the chairs and stuff after
Yeah.
the game, and I don't know, I must have messed up or something, and I kind of like rushed by him and knocked all his papers off the desk while he was live on air, and he gave me the like nastiest look anyone has ever gave me in my life. But he couldn't say anything because he
Yeah.
was on air, and I got the point just like that. It was incredible. I did not mess with Dolph after that.
Do you think he might be like kind of a prima donna, sort of like he's a huge deal in Iowa City?
Yeah.
and-
Not really anywhere else.
yeah.
No, I get that.
Oh yeah.
Kind of how I feel with Paul Allen too for the Vikings.
Oh,
Not
I hate Paul
not a
Allen.
huge Paul Allen fan.
Yep.
Either. He's just kind of a
Yep.
douche.
Yeah.
But love the Vikings. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
I
How
don't know.
about I think it was Detroit's, the Tigers broadcasters this year that got in a fight on air, like a physical altercation.
jeez.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear
it's
that.
just
I'll
I
been-
don't either.
That will bring some
Absolutely.
excitement to baseball.
Finally.
yeah. Yeah.
Been waiting
It's
for
an excitement for the Tigers at
As
least.
much as I dread watching already.
Yeah, I try to be a Twins fan, but
It's hard. They
It
make
is
it hard,
hard.
don't they?
oh my gosh.
And then they trade away all talent,
Mm-hmm.
and now the face of the Minnesota Twins is Miguel Sano, who is just this chunky dude that got kicked back down to AAA ball because he was too fat and slow and didn't do anything in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Gets done with the season, goes down to the Dominican where he's from, and hits a cop with his car that doesn't have plates, isn't registered, doesn't have a license, and reports to the cops 3 days later
Oh my gosh.
and just says it's cool because I'm just going to pay this dude's medical bills and it's all right. And everyone loves him and it's fine. And that is the face of the family-friendly, wholesome Minnesota Twins.
Jeez.
Yeah, because Joe Mauer.
So Maurer
he's
retired.
done, yeah.
He'll be with the organization though. They can't let that kind of PR
Yeah.
go. Like he'll do
Yeah.
something like Justin Morneau did, where
Stay on as a
be an advisor.
yeah,
And what role's
quasi
Paul
coach
Mahler
or
gonna
something.
take now?
Molitor is gonna leave.
Because I
believe.
thought that they were gonna keep placing the organization for him because they loved him so much.
They were gonna, but I think he's gonna go. I don't see that being very like, I don't know, like, hey, welcome home, Paul. You used to be the head coach. Now you're the towel boy.
You know,
kind of thing.
I wasn't disappointed to see the change.
No,
I
it was
really
time.
wasn't, yeah.
I thought it was a good hire at first, like bring back
Who didn't?
a good twin, but yeah, but Molitor's gone, and then Dozier left last year. He got traded out to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Eduardo Escobar, who's
Pablo.
good.
Oh, Eduardo.
Pablo. You guys seen Narcos, by the way?
I started watching it first couple episodes.
I haven't watched the first one, but I watched Narcos Mexico,
Oh yeah,
which is sick.
it's kind of.
They introduced El Chapo in like episode 4.
Oh really?
And yeah, he's just this
Is that
little
more
dude.
like a documentary or is that an entertainment kind of
It's a like
docutainment?
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's based on true stories,
Yeah.
but like
It's kind of like shoot. That's what I'll do in my snowstorm maybe this weekend.
that's right.
We're in a warning now. By the
Oh,
way.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the worst timing for a teacher.
I
right?
know it.
Because
It's
you-
awful.
It's snowing from 4 p.m. Friday
Oh.
until 8 a.m. Monday morning.
Oh,
Why didn't you wait till Monday?
I know it is awful. It's because I'm gonna have to scoop on a Saturday
Yeah.
in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me going. I've had like 4 hours of sleep the last few nights.
Hey, get used to it, man. The
I
baby's
know.
coming.
I
So
know.
just training wheels.
When's the date of due?
17th. So
17th of December.
it's gonna be right in the middle of basketball season. I'm gonna start teaching high school from middle school, like the 15th, and then I have to
You're
have a
doing that
baby.
for like a week?
Sorry. The semester ends in high school now after Christmas break, which is not.
Did it always?
No, it used to be right at Christmas
At AOC?
break,
Oh.
and so I'm gonna transfer out to the high school to teach chemistry
Okay.
at the second semester, which is like January 17th or 15th. Baby's coming the 17th, so I'll take a week off for that, and then that's like right in the heart of basketball
Yeah.
season. So it's
The perfect storm.
perfect storm. I'm gonna be
That,
tweaking out
when
probably.
you first have a kid, though, I mean, you don't get a lot of sleep, but you don't notice it as much.
Okay.
I'm gonna get chastised by every woman on the face of the planet for saying this. From the guy's perspective, even though you're getting up every night, or you should if you're responsible.
Yeah.
It was. I was sleep deprived, but I didn't seem to notice that
Wasn't
much.
too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're so excited. Oh my god, I got a baby. That's surprising. What do I do?
Yeah.
Running on nerves, kind of.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the second your baby cries for the first time, you're like, okay, where's what do I need
Yeah.
to do?
Yeah.
And then just sleep through it.
Then they
Yeah.
just don't stop crying for like 4 years.
For like 18.
Yeah.
Some of our cases 37.
Are you gonna name him Cubert?
LeBron.
Ah,
LeBron.
nice. Good choice.
I never mind.
LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Grimes.
Yes.
No, we don't
In
have.
that order?
Yes. Yep, in that order. No, we don't have a name ready yet.
Okay.
I think we're just gonna kind of wait and see what it looks like.
Yeah. Well,
Just to mess with people, you just give it a traditional name and just change up the spelling.
Yeah.
Like John, Johyan.
Yeah. Yeah.
man, did you see that? There was an article yesterday. Amy showed me at work. This lady's all pissed off at Southwest Airlines because 2 of their their people, their ticket people, their counter people, were like giggling and making fun of her daughter's name. Her daughter's name is ABCDE.
Oh my
Pronounced.
God.
Abdi?
Absidy.
Absidy?
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
You know, to me that kind of ranks right up there with naming your kid Shadid.
Yeah.
Shadid.
Well, it's like
There's-
you're setting him up to get made fun of, and
Right.
and it's not the kid's fault, but
No,
it's,
don't spell it stupid.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, don't be out of the kid, be out of the parents. It just-
yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
Walgreens patient in Iowa City that I was told of from a classmate whose name was spelled LA-LA, pronounced Ladashla.
Yeah, I think Kyle
Yeah.
Anderson
Oh.
was telling us that too.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, that's wild.
A dash low.
Ah,
That's
I get
creative.
it.
It's creative.
Yeah.
That's
That
something.
is
Yeah,
creative.
A for creativity, but
I wonder how that looks on your driver's license. Is that
Yeah.
legal? Can you have non-character?
oh yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's a
you've
good question.
got people with hyphenated last names, so yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
true.
Yeah, that's true. And you've got, Hispanics with the tildes or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Prince was a symbol for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
Prince was a
What
symbol.
if you ever got a driver's license in Minnesota
I don't know.
for the symbol?
That's a good question.
How the hell would you pronounce that symbol?
Yeah.
I mean, if you just saw it for the first time.
The artist.
Yeah, because he was the artist
Still
formerly known as
formerly
Prince.
known as-
right?
Yeah, I mean, that was his moniker, but
Hats off to,
yeah.
to the icon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been a huge Prince fan.
Oh, Jim.
just
That's heresy, brother.
Well,
just
whatever.
listen to Purple Rain a couple times in a row, and that's all you need to know
Yeah.
about Prince.
I've tried.
Really?
I give Prince a college
I-
try.
I do like 1999.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
a good
great
one.
one.
It's a good party
Raspberry
song.
Beret.
I mean, it's not like I dislike Prince. It's just
Plus, he was a baller, dude. How can you not like him?
Wasn't he like
Yeah.
5'8" or
Yeah,
something?
but
No,
he,
yeah, he was
but he,
5'2".
but he loved basketball. He was just no good at it. Because he's
yeah. There was a Chappelle skit regarding that subject
was.
matter. I think, right? Yeah.
you and your squad versus
I kinda-
me and the revolution.
I kind of remember that.
But, you know,
Show you
when you think of Prince, when you consider the fact that he played every single instrument, or every track of his first album,
Yeah.
vocals, background vocals, did it all himself. I mean, that's a special kind of magic to be
Oh
able to
yeah.
pull that off.
Well, respect for that, but
Yeah.
just wasn't too into the songs.
You kind of feel that way about Rush too, don't you? You're just not a big
I
Rush
don't like
fan.
Rush.
You appreciate their musicianship or whatever.
Yeah, I would
I
say
thought
that.
you were talking about Rush Limbaugh.
Oh
Like, Mr. Grouper.
Yeah.
The man.
no. Rush 2112.
No, I think Alex Lifeson is a really good guitar player. Geddy Lee is crazy on the bass.
Yeah.
Neil
Peart.
Neil
Peart.
Peart or however you say it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Didn't he have like the 180 million piece drum
Yeah,
set?
plays in a sphere.
Yeah.
Because he's got so much stuff
Oh,
in his
that's
drum kit.
okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about now.
No, I mean it's
Obviously not a
cool.
big
They're
Rush.
okay for
Yeah.
Canadians.
Yeah,
I
I like.
love Rush. Oh yeah, always have. So.
I'll have to listen to some tonight.
Oh,
Apple
man.
Music.
Close to the Heart,
Yeah, I do like that song.
Limelight.
I like
yeah.
Close to the Heart. That's a good song.
Yeah, the melodies were kind of cool on that.
Tom Sawyer, is that another
Yeah,
big one by
that's
them?
the big one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Oh, shoot, what else is new?
Floyd's your favorite band, though, right?
Floyd, yeah.
They're like a
Number one.
notch above everybody else.
Yeah, always have been, always will be.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Where are they out of?
Pink Floyd.
England.
Oh, Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you're like 2 steps behind it.
Speaking like full names.
Yeah, sorry.
God no, I love Pink Floyd.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Real weird.
Yeah.
Real weird
Real
cats.
obscure.
Do they have any songs that are like up tempo though? Or is it all like kind of the medium?
Yeah, it's all kind
Money.
of
Oh yeah, money. It's
Yeah.
really not up tempo.
No,
I
it's
guess.
all like 100 beats a minute or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, not really. You know.
Mm.
It's kind of why I like them. It's just
What's your favorite album?
Division Bell or Wall. Wall's probably it's a concept album, but probably my favorite.
Dark Side too.
Dark Side's good.
Dark Side.
I think it's a little overrated, but I think it's good.
It's very like I don't know. I love it. Every song on that album.
Oh, it's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't
It's,
get me wrong.
yeah, it's
No.
fantastic. But
You know, that
Yeah.
whole album was dedicated to
Alice in Wonderland. No,
No.
Wizard of Oz?
Wizard of Oz.
no, it wasn't. It was one of the first members of Pink Floyd.
Oh, Sid Barrett.
so,
Yeah, Sid
Yeah,
Barrett.
Shine On You Crazy Diamond.
Yep.
mhm.
Yeah, I watched. There's a documentary about him on Netflix as well.
I heard that was really good. I
It
haven't
is
seen
good.
that.
He was nuts.
Yeah. Wasn't
Yeah.
he the one that was in the mental institution
Yeah.
for a while?
Yep, he
Yeah.
was nuts. They were a completely different band with him too. They sounded just night and day different.
Yeah.
But Gilmer, I just love his guitar playing. It's
Yeah.
out of this world. Wish I had a chance to see him.
Yeah.
Those days are gone.
Yeah. Well, they were. I heard that while they were recording "Wish You Were Here," he actually came in and sat down and watched through the glass, and they're playing, and he's just looks completely different,
Yeah.
completely bald,
Yeah.
heavy, and they, God, that's Sid Barrett. and he never said anything to them.
Yeah.
He just listened to the song, turned around and left.
Yep. Yeah, that's a really interesting documentary. I can't remember it might be called Wish You Were Here actually, but I don't know what it is on Netflix. But if you guys get a chance to check it out, it's really
Did
good.
I get that story right? Did you?
Yeah, I heard
Okay.
about that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's really 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 good. So,
Shit.
Do you guys think so? Those concept albums were huge at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think in the modern music climate that can be done anymore?
No.
Yeah.
No, we don't. I don't think people with that level of artistry are really given much of a chance. Let me take that back, and I will say, that cat out of Wisconsin, Bon Iver. I wasn't the big fan of his music, but if you listen to his entire album is a story, and that's so rare now. So rare to have somebody compose an album instead of just hey, I've got one song here, how much shit can we put in the middle of it?
Right.
And
Yeah.
Singles in a vacuum.
the album is an art that I don't know if it's gonna come back
I would argue maybe. Well,
anytime soon anyway.
I think you have to are we talking mainstream?
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
point because I think you can crank out all the concept albums you want and put them on SoundCloud or
Yeah.
something
But
like
if no
that.
one's
But
listening.
yeah, I mean, if it's
I think there's some Ghost stuff.
tough to make it mainstream, yeah.
We might be the only ones here who listen
I
to
don't like the
Ghost
Ghost
BC.
stuff. No way.
You like Ghost? I love Ghost, man.
I've listened to some
Ghost rocks. We
I'm
saw
not
him.
as into
Yeah,
it
we
as you are.
We went to Omaha and saw
We
him.
caught Ghost right at the peak, I think,
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
because Ghost was really
Is that Ghost Maine?
it was
No,
just
Ghost BC.
Yeah.
It's if you Google them, you'll kind of see what we're
Yeah,
talking
you'll
about.
figure it out. They're a kind of a gimmicky. They're sort of like Kiss and the
like Guar.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Guar,
okay.
Like
Kiss.
Guar.
Yeah,
A
but
darker kind of.
it's imagine like a kind of
Like that?
Yeah, it's Ghost.
That's Ghost, yeah. They sound sort of like a heavier version of the Doors, maybe like their
Yeah.
early stuff.
Kind of psychedelic.
Kind
a
of,
little
yeah.
bit.
It's not really exactly metal, I wouldn't say.
What are the
But-
couple songs that you recommend listening to just kind of get to know who they are?
Year Zero probably is a
It's a
good one.
Yep.
Jeez.
Secular Haze.
Secular Haze,
Secular
yeah.
Haze. Anything off the first album, Opus.
This is pretty French.
Yeah.
It really was is
Yeah.
what we should say because they kind of they're kind of like a Green Day almost. I
Yeah,
hate
they
to
started
compare it to
blow
them,
up a
but
lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm not
Yeah.
too happy about it.
That's weird. I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
they're starting to play arenas and
Yeah.
stuff now.
Nah, we caught them at like the club level.
Yeah.
And that was perfect.
It's about
Okay.
maybe
They put on
1,000
this like
people in
dark. They're a satanic
Yeah,
Church
like a
service
Marilyn Manson
thing.
kinda-
Marilyn
there. Yeah,
Manson
that's
kind of
their
thing.
appeal, I
Yeah.
guess.
And they like got organs going, playing kind of like a church thing. And
So
they
for
come
like
in,
the
it's
emo
like,
crowd.
yeah.
Marilyn Manson puts on a show, though.
I've never
Say what
seen
you
him.
will
I've
about
heard
him.
Oh,
Yeah, I like him. I do.
I
I
saw
love
him down
Manson.
at the Bel Air,
Yeah.
or Bel Air Ballroom
Oh, but the
Valor
Valor. Yeah.
in
yeah.
Des Moines.
Really? He was playing there, huh?
That's a pretty small
Nice.
venue. That was a while
Yes.
ago.
It was wild.
He was there last year with Slipknot, right?
I think that
Wells
was
Fargo.
at Wells Fargo, though. Yeah. so-
Yeah.
Slipknot will be playing the Iowa State Fair.
I'm
this
going.
year.
I
You'll
am
be
going
there
to
as
that.
well?
Yeah. Have to go to that.
Absolutely.
That's an Iowa staple.
I've
You have
never
to see
really
Slipknot.
listened to a lot of
Oh,
Slipknot.
man,
Oh,
they're
okay.
great. I don't like heavy metal. I'm not a heavy metal
Yeah.
guy. But damn it, do I love some Slipknot.
Yeah.
And just
Like I'll do
feeling the
Metallica and
pulse of the
stuff like that,
maggots.
but
Yeah.
they just take it to a whole new level for me.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme. That's for sure.
Their show.
Mhm.
Man, that'd be.
I think
I've
that's
only
the
seen
allure.
like the
do
video
like
of
the
it.
drums.
I've never seen them live, but I've watched them like live on videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's wild, man. You got 3 percussionists. One's
Yeah.
a giant
Yeah.
pig playing a
Clown,
or clown
yeah.
playing a bass drum. Like,
Yeah, I mean they got like a empty keg with a microphone in it.
Yeah.
Somebody's just hitting it with a sledgehammer.
taking it
Awesome.
industrial to a new level.
Yeah.
It's an
It's
actual
awesome.
silver hammer of a different color.
Yeah, I think you just sort of go for the spectacle more than
Yeah. Yeah.
bring some earplugs and let it rip.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got the Slipknot will be the Iowa State Fair. We missed that. It would have been cool to see
That would've
Manson
been,
and
wasn't that a weeknight or
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a year or two ago, and it was in the summertime. I think I kind of had something else I needed to do, or
What I'd love to is see Rob Zombie again.
I saw him. He was good.
See,
Saw him in South Dakota.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I went back and listened to some of his music, and then I rewatched the movie. His
Thousand
movies,
Corpses or whatever.
See,
Is it 10,000?
which was okay. Yeah, 10,000 Corpses, which was okay. Devil's Rejects, though,
I heard that was
is like really where he hit his stride. That was actually a good movie. It wasn't just gross and weird.
yeah.
His other movies have been kind of just gross and weird. Like House of 10,000 Corpses was just kind of gross and weird. And then The Witches of Salem
I haven't seen that.
he made, which
that-
was just weird.
How long ago was that?
That came out, I can tell you exactly, it came out in 2013.
Okay.
Because it came out while I was in Boulder, Colorado, and I went by myself.
Jeez.
On like a Thursday.
I'll have to check that one out. I usually like zombie films.
Yeah, and his Halloween remakes were fantastic.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
liked those. And then I think he has another one that I haven't seen. Chris Noss said it was the grossest yet. It was about this like cannibal tribe. And
Oh,
these
yeah.
journalists get there, and then the cannibal tribe just like eats them and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like the missionary.
The green.
Yeah.
Something Pacific right now.
Yeah,
That's
dummy.
another thing.
That
That drives
dummy.
me nuts. That
What the
idiot.
hell?
Yeah.
Like,
Come on, guys.
Leave his body there.
All he was trying to do was spread the good word
Yeah.
to people with.
that can't understand him, that don't want to talk to him,
That don't even wear clothes.
that don't wear clothes, that have giant arrows, that are known for killing everybody who comes in contact with them.
Yeah.
He's so dumb he deserves to be
Just
where
a-
he's
Well,
at.
here's the question about that though. I mean, you can say the guy is dumb and trying to put his beliefs on another culture that has no concept of
Yeah.
what this guy's talking about, or and then you have the people that laugh at the guy and say, well, he deserved it. I don't know where I fall on that mix.
I'm
I
fine
can kind of
with
see both sides of the equation. I mean, I'm okay with people trying to
Evangelize.
evangelize,
Yeah.
as long as they're not, shoving it down people's throats.
Yeah.
But,
I feel that's what he was doing, though.
Well, you gotta know your clientele.
Yeah.
well,
Like,
The last
That's
people
true.
that tried to attempt or make contact had an arrow in their head.
Well, and I think
Yeah.
isn't there some evidence that he kind of knew what the stakes were too? Like,
Oh,
don't they have some?
well, he knew because it was the
Yeah.
second time he went to the island, because the
Uh-huh.
first time
Oh.
he left because he was getting shot at with arrows.
Yeah.
So maybe he went
So,
home and
yeah.
prayed about it and went again thinking that, he would have a different result.
Right.
That stuff fascinates me though. I love like uncontacted tribes and stuff.
Oh, that's
it's,
cool.
It's like the kind of the
Cultural
final
anthropology kind of
frontier.
stuff.
Yeah.
it'd be really
Yeah.
neat, and then I've read up on some, like, Amazonian tribes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
where-
there's
There's
a
some-
handful of those that are pretty
Yep.
isolated
Yeah.
too.
And there are a couple like in, I think it's New Guinea,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
that are just so deep in the forest that, contact.
I mean,
Yeah.
Isn't that wild, though?
Yeah, there's still people out there who probably haven't seen an airplane unless they got one in the sky or
Right.
something. But
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yep.
Seen a TV or
Or cell phone.
And
Cell
they're just
phone,
hanging
yeah.
out. They're just
Yeah.
hanging out,
Flush your
man.
toilet.
Yeah, they're still existing, which is the wild part.
Right.
I mean, if they can do it, like
When you've got a people, like a set of people that are that isolated, what's the risk to them being like? Well, there's some. I mean, that's the difference. I wasn't going
Deliverance.
that way, but that could be part of it too. Yeah, I mean,
Small gene pool, man.
small
So-
gene pool. But then the thing I was gonna say was like, how susceptible are they to disease and stuff like
Very.
that? Yeah.
Incredibly, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Very.
gonna say.
I mean, everything that we have herd immunity from, smallpox, measles,
Yeah.
mumps, which we don't anymore because people are stupid. They don't vaccinate their freaking children.
I've made a decision not to vaccinate, and I hope you respect my decision.
Yeah.
I don't.
Respect
I don't respect your decision. I'm sorry, Kyle. I like you.
Oh man. No, I'm just messing.
Okay,
I
I
think that's a bunch of BS,
figured
dude.
because you're a science teacher and you understand.
No, that's a bunch
things.
of BS.
Oh.
There's actually an interesting point. We were touring the delivery rooms yesterday up the hospital, and they if there's a flu epidemic or an outbreak,
Yeah.
you can't go in there unless you're vaccinated.
Yeah.
So they have records of your vaccination. So if you don't have the flu shot, you can't go see.
You can't bullshit them and say,
Yeah.
I got my flu shot. Well, no, you have
Yeah.
Well, if you do need a flu shot,
like
because this is actually next week, starting on Monday, is National Flu Shot Week.
Oh,
We
already
got
got one.
we got a thing in the mail about it. Come down and visit me at the store. I'll poke you.
Oh, you can do that, huh?
Hell
You can
yeah,
do it?
dude.
Nice.
Do you give me 20 cents off per gallon?
I do not, because I am not the naughty store. I am the mom and pop store trying to survive corporatism in America.
I'm just giving you shit.
Is there any variance, like between the flu shots if you go to X location? And
No.
You get, okay,
They're all
it's the
made
same.
by the
It's
same
the
company.
same
Not
thing.
per year. No,
Okay.
there's about 5 or 6 manufacturers, but the CDC guidelines is like CDC guides the creation of the flu shot from year to year. Different people can make it. Some make it in like 10-dose vials where you have to draw it out. The ones we bought are already dosed up in a syringe, so I just have to pop a needle on and poke you.
Gotcha.
But it covers the exact same flu strains which is predicted by the CDC. So like right now, they're already gathering data from the hospitals around the country to predict
For
what next
year,
year's.
yeah.
Correct.
Hmm.
There is a difference though. Once you're 65, you get a higher dose
Okay.
of flu.
Just like a couple more strains.
No.
What is the difference between the regular and the senior dose?
It's just a higher dose. It's
Okay.
just a more concentrated product
Okay,
that elicits a higher immune response.
gotcha.
Yep.
Because that's the first time I'd seen that.
Can you
Mhm.
demand a senior flu shot if you're not a
You
senior?
can pay for it.
Yeah.
Your insurance won't.
Do they still make flu shots with like, I think, do
No.
they use eggs anymore? They don't?
Well, there's some egg use. I actually published a peer-reviewed paper regarding this. Yeah, so for forever, the viruses were grown in chicken eggs, killed,
No.
and then the egg proteins are removed, and then they have the flu shot. They still do it on some of them. There's like 3 now that don't use any eggs ever,
Okay.
and the amount of protein is like undetectable in the rest of them. So the CDC actually removed the egg allergy contraindication now, so we're just supposed to use caution. So we
Okay.
gotta like watch them for 10-15 minutes
Sure.
to make sure they don't balloon up like a...
Mhm.
I suppose a serious vegan would be opposed to a flu shot.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Absolutely. I don't know any, but
Killed
Huh.
chickens
If
to
it is.
save my life.
you know,
Yeah, wow, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
those anti-vaxxers, I don't get it.
I don't get them.
What is the argument?
I don't.
The argument
Autism
is
is
that
that it? I don't
And
know.
the argument is that
there's autism. Thanks, Jenny McCarthy. Yeah.
So,
listen
okay,
to Jenny McCarthy.
let's
Explain
let a
that,
porn
though.
star make our
What is
medical
what do you
decisions for
what do you
kids.
mean autism?
Like her kid's autistic. Her kid got vaccines. So then she thought that because the kid got vaccines, then the kid turned autistic. Not that the kid was already autistic, and his symptomatology just started showing as he grew up and his personality developed and stuff like that, which is normal. Like that's when you start noticing autism is when they're little. They also get a lot of vaccines when they're little. They get and the MMR was the big one that she was against: measles, mumps, and rubella. And she swore that that's what gave her kid autism. So then she goes on like, I don't know, Dr. Phil or one of these talk shows and just starts blaring that.
Oprah.
So then, well, there was this doctor also in England that wrote an article that said he found a causal link between MMR vaccines and autism. And it got published in the Lancet, which is a really high respected journal, like super prestigious journal. And then
Wasn't that later?
yes, it was completely rebuked. Like 2 years later, guy lost his medical license and can never practice medicine.
Wow.
Yeah, but people still shout it from the rooftops as fact because they heard about it one time or it was on the internet as a meme. And now the new big thing is like, oh, the government's just trying to make you sick so that you spend more. These vaccines are actually making you sick and more prone to sickness, so that you spend more money and that'll line the pockets. And big pharma's getting rich because they're giving everybody vaccines, and maybe vaccines are cheap.
So my argument to that is, when was the last time you knew of somebody? I mean, we hear stories, but knew of somebody who had smallpox. When was the last time you heard of somebody with measles? When was the last time you heard of somebody?
This week.
Yeah, measles is. I think,
Oh
a
well,
little
yeah,
common.
because
Because of the stupid anti-vaxxers. Kids are dying.
Where's the Black Plague? I mean,
Yeah, we do need it. Vaccine against the plague would be nice. We just got rid of the rats for that one, for the most part.
Yeah.
But the measles, like kids are dying.
Yeah.
Like shit.
well, yeah,
And there's another pocket up in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Somewhere
Yeah,
up in
that's right, I
Minnesota.
heard about that.
There was a big outbreak of like 17 kiddos.
Wild.
We had a policy at our hospital that if you didn't get the flu shot, you had to wear a mask whenever you were at work
Well, I think
for
some
like 8 months.
I think some nurse just
Oh,
recently
yeah.
got fired for
Good.
not having the flu shot. I
Good.
read that somewhere. I don't know. It was
Good.
today I read it too.
Absolutely.
yeah. No, I don't know. I just
It's
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know why people are so hung up.
okay, but should you be able to have the personal liberty as an adult to decide whether or not you want?
Not if it hurts other people.
not if it hurts other people,
Yeah.
and that's my big issue with it.
Especially in a medical
Because
facility.
I'm very like laissez-faire about
Well-
what you put in your body and things like that. But if you're at the grocery store and my kid's there and my kid's going through chemo because my kid has ALL and has no immune system and can't get the flu shot, and you cough and give that kid the flu, that kid dies.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that. Like, you would maybe want to have policy measures in place where you've got vulnerable people, like a hospital or something like that. I'm just talking generally speaking.
Sure, but what about the little old ladies? I mean, flu kills old people all the time.
So, I mean, let's talk about a nursing home. You have a lot of older folks that have weakened immune systems because, they're malnourished because their body's not able to absorb the nutrients like it used to. And, somebody with the flu hacks all over the place, it doesn't take long for those folks to get sick, develop pneumonia, and
No, and then they die.
die.
Yeah, they just had a big, over at one of the nursing homes in Spirit Lake, had a big flu break. Had like 35 folks get it. I don't know how many died or anything or like got really ill, but like 35 had the flu, confirmed flu at a time. Because it travels so fast.
Mhm.
All it takes is one. I'm probably biased in this, just because of, my training and stuff like that, but I absolutely believe in that being mandated.
So you're pretty authoritarian when it comes to the flu shot.
I am, dude. You're getting stuck. And no one's gonna feed me the bullshit, Like, we have people come in all the time who are just like, no, don't get one. Got sick last year from it. I'm like, well, it didn't make you sick because it's a killed virus and has no viral activity.
Well, you can't
there's
reason
that.
as stupid.
No, you can't. I just tell them that, and I don't
Yeah.
let them
Yeah.
think that they win, because
Well,
they don't.
Yeah,
Because science.
I never regularly got the flu shot until I got the swine flu. And holy shit, did that knock me on my ass.
Man, you got the swine flu?
I got the swine flu.
Holy
I had a
cow.
temperature of 104.7.
Yeah, dude.
Jeez.
That's like
And-
hallucinating temperatures.
Yeah, and we called the ER and say, hey, these are my symptoms. This is the the pattern of my. Oh yeah, you've got the swine flu. Well, my temperature is 104.7. Should I come in? No, just here's what you do. Just rotate your Tylenol and your ibuprofen. Every 2 hours. Take a cold shower. If it doesn't go down in the next 2 hours, let us know. So I'm not dying or. I mean, maybe I had brain damage. I don't know. I mean,
That's
tell
crazy.
me. But no, I mean that was scary.
Yeah.
And I was always kind of like, I don't really need a flu shot. No, after that, every year I get my flu shot.
Yeah.
Because, I was a healthy, young 30-year-old.
Huh.
So anybody can get it.
I gave myself my flu shot this year. My left hand's not very.
Yeah.
I did this. It was a little sloppy, but it worked.
Yeah, and it seems to be a thing where it doesn't seem to work to present all the evidence and lay out all the arguments and let
Unless you don't get sick.
it's the lead the horse to water
Right.
thing.
Well, and it doesn't help that people are they're kind of right when they say it doesn't work all that great. It really doesn't. Like on a successful year, it's like 35% effective.
Yeah.
Some years they'll miss and it'll be 20, 25. Some years they'll be great and it'll be 50. But like it's not because it's not an exact science.
When there are
right?
so many hundred flu strains out there,
Exactly,
you can't.
thousands of them.
Yeah.
It's just predictions by epidemiologists
Mhm.
and math. Math's for suckers.
I'm not smart. I get confused with the grocery store.
I just fill it up and swipe. I went to Fairway tonight. Man, I bet that's where Eric Hansen is tonight.
We got
Probably.
3 watchers, so maybe.
Ooh.
Oh, Megan was watching.
Oh, okay.
Wild Bill Ralston told me that, well, he told me that they had to call people in at Fairway.
Oh, really?
Because he's like, yeah, it's wild in here, man.
Calling the troops.
He goes,
Reinforcements,
he said-
quick.
It was,
Knock on five.
it was supposed to be his night off.
Oh,
but
dear.
he saw the Fairway symbol up in the sky, you know.
Jumped in the fairway mobile and
Yeah.
off it went.
To the Fairway game.
Yeah.
Well, I bet. I mean, people kind of freak out.
Oh,
There's
God.
a
Yeah.
blizzard coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially living up here on this hill, guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't need a prep. We're surrounded by deer. We've got creeks. We can,
Yeah. We can live off the
we can
land
shoot
if we have
what we
to.
need to eat.
Yeah. Indeed.
What? How quick do they plow your road up here?
Oh,
They
yeah.
get
I
a
mean,
day
it's,
up?
Depends on when Brendan Blair wakes up.
yeah.
Oh, Brandon takes care of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
He
I think,
digs us out. Yeah, he's pretty good about it, I think.
well, I can always remember somebody on the road who had plow.
Yeah.
Because didn't Rolene Construction, they used to have their big tractor come out
Yep.
and plow us
Yeah.
anytime it, we had a flurry.
We had a couple of hellish years in the 90s. I
Oh,
remember
God,
with
that was
some snow.
fantastic.
Yeah, it was just unbelievable. It was great for a kid playing in
Oh,
snow
yeah.
drifts.
Yeah, dude.
but-
Well, and remember the ski hill? When that was a thing?
Bomber Hill? Or no, Ski Hill. Ski
Yeah,
Hill,
I
yeah.
missed
Holiday
Holiday
Mountain.
Mountain.
Holiday
Yeah.
Mountain. Bambi, Thumper.
Yeah,
Finding
Thumper,
Wilma.
Winning Wilma,
Good times, yeah.
Kitty's Delight,
Yeah.
I could never get up that
Sandy
damn
Shortcut.
rope.
The tow rope.
The
Yeah.
tow rope, it always slipped through my hands, and I get so mad, I'd like start to cry.
Dude, I would
was
shred
so
like
mad.
6 pairs of mittens a
I-
year.
Yeah.
I've
That
been
damn
thinking about
thing.
this ski hill a lot lately. I wonder what it would take to get it going again.
The
I think
stuff's
it-
still there.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I
Probably a
think
lot of money.
all the yeah, I'm sure all the motors have to be
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
A couple
redone.
big lawnmowers.
hmm
You
Then you're probably be tough to make it.
How I didn't last
Man,
long
what
after
about
Bob passed
insurance?
away, did it?
How would that
Oh yeah, the insurance would be
1
Bob
year.
Goble, 1 year.
gnarly.
Did his one of his boys try to?
Yeah, Marty and
Oh,
Ann
Marty,
kept it open for a year, but then just
I mean that's a lot of work though. I never remember seeing Bob out there and not working.
no.
Yeah.
He was working. He was a hard worker.
Yeah, he was like a mountain man.
Yeah, he was
was.
a hell of a guy.
Yeah.
Grizzly Adams, man.
Yeah.
Big beard,
Big
and some
yeah.
big old dude in bibs.
His laugh.
Yeah.
Like Paul Bunyan or something.
Exactly.
A combination of Paul Bunyan and Santa Claus.
Remember they even had there was a bar out there. Like that little side room.
They made frozen pizza.
Frozen pizzas and some shit. Or
The pretzels.
fries and pretzels.
Nachos.
Man, that's a long
French
time
fries,
ago.
that
Holy
was.
cow.
Well, we had ski days.
Yeah, for school.
For
Yeah.
school, man. Your
Oh
kids.
man.
Usually a broken arm or two.
Yeah.
At least 1 or 2.
Something bloody.
You know,
Yeah.
the weird thing about that is that has produced some Olympic quality skiers. You know, there were some guys in the '70s who were Olympic ski jumpers who
Yeah.
came off of Holiday Mountain,
Yeah.
in
Huh.
Northwest Iowa.
You'd be surprised how good a skier you can be
Yeah.
from just
So where's learn how to ski? Iowa.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Holiday Mountain.
Yeah. I went out to Colorado numerous times in my high school year. I haven't skied for a long time, but I had
It was
no
just
problem.
No problem.
Yeah,
No.
I had no problem.
I never skied on Colorado.
Same. And yeah, I went like 3rd grade year and 5th grade year, like every other year we'd go. Because my uncle had a condo up in Keystone, and we just hit Summit County for like a week, and
Yep.
it just wasn't that bad.
No.
You know.
I mean, the only thing I would say is maybe my skiing endurance probably wasn't
Correct.
as
It
good
takes
as it
you
would
a
have been.
long time
Yeah,
to get
like,
down a freaking mountain.
yeah. So, you know,
2 minutes to get from the
Top
top
of
of Bambi to the
Bambi.
bottom of Bambi. You know, what, a couple hours to get down,
Yeah.
2 or 3 mile
Yep.
if you're taking time.
Right. Exactly. So.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Never done that. Never skied a big mountain.
Colorado's fun.
Mount Cato was my
Such a
favorite.
good
Mount
place.
Cato.
Cato is fun. Cato for like being in the middle of Minnesota.
Yeah, that's
Cato
not
was
bad
pretty
either,
legit.
yeah.
Pretty long.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Plenty of runs too.
Yeah.
I recall.
A lot of
I
diversity.
mean, it's been 20 years. To me and Kyle Struben up there.
Oh.
Oh, God, that's true.
Kyle. Kid's funny.
Yeah, he's a good cat.
I think he's still around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
he
is.
moved down to.
Kyle and Molly?
No. Not Struve.
Oh, Struby.
Struby.
Oh,
Struby.
okay,
Kip and
gotcha.
Kyle.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And whatever happened to Kip?
Kip's around. He's got a kid and stuff.
I forgot he
He
existed.
looks like a burly version of he did when he was a little kid.
Okay.
He looks exactly the same, just bigger.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what you
But
did.
just the same kid-like face. I
Oh,
I can
dude.
see him 8 years old.
I remember him in kindergarten. He wouldn't talk to the teacher. So
He was
if he had an answer, he would whisper it to either Baker or Van Langen
Yeah.
or me or Aaron Olson, and then we'd tell the teacher what Kip said.
Oh, no way.
He wouldn't talk to Mrs. Seiler. Back when she was Mrs. Kepshaw.
Yeah.
Oh,
Deb Kepshaw.
Yep, she was my kindergarten teacher.
And she just retired a couple years.
She did.
Did she?
Oofta. Making me feel old there, Kyle. Yes, I am.
Facts
I think
don't care
almost
about
all
your
of my
feelings.
teachers are retired.
It's media about facts.
Yeah, my Mrs. Federer was my kindergarten teacher.
She just passed away,
died.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bummer.
My first grade teacher died, Mrs. Millsap.
Yeah.
Well, you were a Lincoln School kid. So you had Deb Capshaw, Mrs. Millsap. Did you have Carla right out?
No, I had Denise Erickson or
Okay.
Denise Christensen.
Yeah.
It was in
Oh,
her
she's
like
still around.
her like second year of teaching.
Norma Lamb.
Oh, she's my neighbor.
I remember Mrs. Lamb.
Mrs. Lamb, oh, she was a sweetheart.
She
'Cause
was
my
a sweet
grandmother
lady.
had a good relationship with her, so
Yeah. She's
Third
my
grade
neighbor.
though, we had Morphe.
Yeah, I switched to Lincoln in third grade.
Yeah, Morph came over.
Yeah. I wasn't Demoni for K through 2.
The kids don't know what it was like up on the hill. Represent McKinley.
See, I didn't even know McKinley was a
Yeah,
like,
no one did.
I knew about Demoni, and then all of a sudden this other
Wait.
bus full
you
of kids.
heard
I'm
of
like,
McKinley,
what
but
the
you
hell?
never knew where it was.
How did you wind
It's
up
a
in
mystery
Lincoln?
school.
I have no idea. Kevy was at Lincoln.
Yeah, because I remember
Yeah, Kevin was at Lincoln.
Yeah. I don't know. I was
Dude,
just,
that is janky.
I was just
Where'd,
balling up
where'd
there.
you guys grow up? Like, where was your house?
By Lincoln. Yeah, it's kind of I don't know what
Everybody
happened.
went to Lincoln by
It's
the
across the street from Lincoln.
Yeah, pretty. It's
My
walking
brother
distance.
went to Lincoln, but
What if they? No, they didn't close it.
That had a lot of kids in the neighborhood. Ton of neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know.
Lincoln was the shit.
They're like, there were so many neighborhood kids. I mean, they were like freaking gangs.
So many
Yeah.
gross bats.
Second graders.
Oh yeah, the bats.
Bats,
Yeah.
and the whole back of that
Smelled
school
like one
was just bat shit. It was like painted black.
Literally black.
We had to go down. I remember one of my scariest times at Lincoln was kindergarten. Deb sent me down to the boiler room.
Kenny Munson?
Where, yeah, Kenny was working in the boiler room, and I had to ask Mr. Munson for the next letter for Alphabet Island. It was J. I still remember this. There's little Andy, like, I knock on the boiler room. Boom, boom, boom. It, like, echoes back, and no one answers, so I just kind of peek in. And it looks like Freddy Krueger style. There's pipes running everywhere.
Low
and
ceiling.
low
no
ceilings,
hallway.
weird lighting, and I kind of walk back in there, and there's Mr. Munson, like, at his desk, like, hanging out. And I'm like,
Well, he was kind of scary as a kid just because he was always real quiet.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kenny was a quiet cat.
Working around.
He golfs more than anyone I know.
Yeah.
He's a good hunter, too. I thought he was kind of like him.
I think he retired too.
He did retire. 2 years ago, maybe? Same year Mr. Sexy retired,
Okay.
I think, because
Times are changing.
they're golfing buddies.
Who do you guys have in fourth grade?
Sykes.
I had Mrs. Moss.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah.
I didn't have her, but
This
Mrs.
year.
Reinhardt was my
Yeah. God, who was in my class? I think
He was a,
Aaron Olson was in there.
Yeah.
Colby.
yeah, he had more work, too.
Yeah.
Travis Ukasik might have
Yeah,
been in that one.
probably.
I can't remember the name of my teacher. I can see her.
I had
She was
Sandra.
the only kid who ever, the only teacher who ever rapped me with a ruler.
Might have been
Oh,
Sandra.
jeez.
I couldn't make W's in
Was it
cursive.
Sandra Sykes?
No, it was,
Mrs.
she was
Sykes.
an older gal. She had my aunt Priscilla. Lived in Spirit Lake.
Damn, that
I want to say it starts with a
Yeah.
Rasmussen.
Oh yeah, Mrs.
Mrs. Rasmussen,
I've
yeah.
heard of her.
Mrs. White in fifth grade.
Margaret.
Yep.
Yeah, she still
I
subs
love
every once in a while.
Mrs.
Yeah.
She's
I
good.
heard her fifth.
She was awesome.
Yeah, fourth grade was the year I developed all my leaping ability, so I could jump and grab the
Grab the
The overhead,
Yeah.
yeah, that. Oh
And then-
man.
Oh,
You
that's
hang
right.
from
I
there?
forgot we
Yeah,
did that.
swing around a
and,
little bit.
and I used to Spider-Man the
Yeah.
door frame, like I'd flip upside down and
Yeah. Shoot your web.
shoot my web at people. And I remember, this is a great 4th grade story, so I was Spider-Manning in that hallway with the wooden floor
Yeah.
up there
Oh,
on the
yeah.
top floor of
Right.
the
Where it was Vol and Anderson.
Yep, exactly. And then somebody, I think Anderson, comes around the corner and she's like, "Hey, get down right now!" And I just take off running,
Yeah.
right? And I got my Air Jordan 10s on. I'm like, nobody can catch me. I go outside to recess because it was like lunchtime or whatever, and I'm sweating out there and thinking, "Oh my gosh, what's gonna?" She totally saw me, and so I got the bright idea. I'm like, "Hey, Shannon Baker, switch T-shirts with me." And we had to line up outside to
Yeah.
go back in, and then here's Anderson standing there scowling at everybody and watching every kid go in, and just got off scot-free.
Yeah.
think
She had good trouble.
Statute of limitations is run. No, I never got in trouble. Neither did Baker. So
There we go.
you're set.
As a teacher, I'm sure they still think about that to this day.
Yeah.
That's funny. Remember when that kid was Spider-Man? And
Yeah.
my 4th grade story was a kid in my class who will remain nameless because it's kind of mean. He raised his hand. He goes, "Miss Sykes, I have to go to the bathroom." She goes, "No, you just had water time or whatever it was, or you can go to the drinking fountain. You can wait till
Oh
recess."
no.
Hand down. Hand back up. "I gotta go." And that's what it was. Mrs. Sykes, man, please go back. It was, "I gotta go." "I told you no." She had a crooked finger, and she pointed the crooked finger. And 2 minutes later, raised his hand. "I had an accident." Homeboy was just, he just let it go.
Brutal.
It was awful.
Oh
man.
my
Poor
gosh.
kid. That was also the year I met Robert Perkins. Remember him?
Oh yeah.
Remember
So
whatever happened to him?
So funny story about that. He's related to the other Perkins clan around here.
Oh, Jacob.
Oh, like
and-
Jacob and
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a cousin of theirs. or
okay.
something. And I was thinking about Robert Perkins. So
Facebook.
yeah, I looked on Facebook for him, and he was going by Bert Perkins.
Bird.
Yeah, I dropped the
Bro. Dropped the
Dropped
road.
the road. Just Bert Perkins. It was really weird.
Maybe he had a good reason for it.
Yeah, I don't know. He's the guy that got me into Pokemon.
Same.
To bring this thing
Ditto.
full circle. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know what you're talking
Oh
about.
my gosh, that's him. He
Is he-
looks the exact same.
Is he Bert Perkins still?
Bert Perkins.
Nice.
Dude, I'm adding that
This kid used to just walk around like singing.
Yeah, hilarious.
Just he's kind of a geeky, pudgy kid with glasses, as I recall.
Yeah, just a happy-go-lucky fella.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot to be said. A lot to be said for being happy and lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Low stress, man.
Can't blame him.
I don't have any 4th grade stories. 7th grade story though.
Yeah. Who were your teachers in 7th?
Oh, I had Mrs. Doty.
Yep, I had Doty.
Sure.
Mrs. Anderson, who was a geography teacher.
I had Hilmer for geography and stuff.
I had Helmer.
So you
for
had
Homer.
Helmer, Jensen, and
Mueller.
Okay. Yeah,
Mueller.
I think it was Mrs. Anderson, and then Mr. Travis and Mrs. Doty, and I think we were watching OJ. The OJ trial at lunch, and everybody was, I had talked David Moritz into locking Mrs. Travis out of the room.
Oh, I remember Mrs. Travis.
That's kind of you too.
Yeah, she was from the lake. She always talked about her son Brad. And she couldn't get back in. She's out in the hall. She's crying. And they get the door open. And who did that? Well, Nate did. Nate, why'd you lock the door? Adam told me to. And so yeah, so my next year, every single one of my teachers had another way to get into the room that didn't have a lock on the door.
Yeah, we all got keys now.
Yeah. Do you have any if a school shooter comes in, you got any crazy door bar things?
Yeah, well, we're supposed to just chuck stuff at them now, I guess, but
Oh, okay.
I
It'd
always
be
tell
easier
my
if you could chuck bullets at them.
yeah.
1,260 feet per second.
Yeah.
You know.
I always tell my kids, you know, it's if that ever happens, it's every man for himself. So I'm out of here. No, I'm not saving you.
Oh,
Uh,
geez.
And when it did happen, like when we had our drill, like I was the first one out the door. I'm not sticking around for this crap. Away I go. So
Do they play like
Wait,
shooting
it's still
sounds and stuff?
they fire blanks.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wow. Do
Fire
the kids know
blanks.
what's coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It-
good.
Yeah. I
'Cause that
would.
would scare the shit.
Right. And that's the philosophy. Like I would never ever, even if they
I
told us
probably
not to
shouldn't
tell
swear, should I?
No, it's fine.
them.
Okay,
I-
good.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Darn it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Carl's gonna
gee.
keep it professional.
Yeah.
Oh man, at work we say cheese and rice quite a bit.
Is Al kind of anti?
We don't swear around Big
Yeah.
Al. No, a lot of cheese and
He
rice,
comes from kind of old school.
sun
Yeah.
biscuit. But Amy doesn't care. She just goes. I'll just be working on my computer. I'll just hear, oh balls.
Well, that's kind of PG-13.
Yeah,
as
she
far as
says
swear words
balls
go.
are fart.
Yeah.
A lot of balls and fart.
Yeah. That's funny.
So, are those Alice drills required for
Is that a
schools?
state
or is
thing?
that-
No, I don't think it's a state.
Is that what they
thing.
call them, Alice drills?
Yeah, it's what active, what something,
I don't know.
Intruder,
yeah,
active something.
Crisis.
intruder,
crisis, something.
I don't know.
evacuation,
Maybe something
Yeah.
like that.
excavation.
I know it's a, every
Active
letter stands for
live.
something.
Acronym.
Okay.
Active live intruder,
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
something. Yeah.
No, it's usually just a morning ruiner every year. They have a training, then we all funnel out to the RWC from the school and reconvene out there. I mean, I get it. There's obviously should be training for a situation like that in some capacity.
Yeah.
Do you think the kids should be involved in the training? for
That's
that, though?
just the thing. Like,
Because, you know, the reason I ask is, I mean, not that, you know, to make light of what the school's intending to do, but, you know, we had tornado drills, and fire drills at school. It was like, it's another drill.
Yeah, here we go.
Somebody pulled the alarm
Yeah.
again. And nobody ever took it seriously.
Right.
So when it really happens, are people going to be going, we're having another freaking drill?
yeah, I'm glad it's only once a year. I think that's plenty. I think the most the kids get out of it is the actual like discussion we have about it,
Mm.
what they're gonna do, what they should expect, not the actual drill itself, because they know they're like scripted what they should do. So they ask a lot of questions, which is awesome. But
What's the first thing that you do when you lock the door?
well, it depends where the shooter's at. So let's just say a shooter walks into your room. You're supposed to chuck everything you got at him.
Just throw things.
And if that, we've trained that scenario before, and
Would that just make you the first target?
the overwhelming majority is that people just freeze because it's foreign and they don't know what to do. So that's kind of why we practice, I guess.
Okay.
Do you guys practice? They chuck the Chromebooks at them or something?
Well, they're supposed to chuck things that aren't expensive, like or scissors,
Textbooks.
Right, textbooks, yeah.
Useless things.
Yeah. But first, if somebody walks into your room, you're supposed to chuck stuff and then run, essentially, never trying to engage the person. But, if it's just down the hall, you get the heck out of there, lock the doors and barricade. But I'm usually one for running, so that's kind of my goal. But, I don't know. I mean, it's just, it wastes half a day.
Well,
Yeah.
for some reason, that makes me think of Mrs. Rasmus telling me that, you don't throw pencils because you're going to put somebody's eye out. I mean, I would think that'd be the first thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You want to chuck everything you got, it doesn't matter at the time. So.
Yeah.
Is the best answer to that kind of thing like a multi-layered response, so like all sorts of different stuff? Like you lock all the doors to make sure anybody coming in off the street has to go through the
Yeah, the
central
office, right.
and then you have
That's the big
cameras
thing.
everywhere.
Is that
and
what
then
it
you have-
is now? I'm sure.
Well, yeah, so all the main doors to the school are locked. So I don't know if you guys have been in the high school recently, or the middle
Yeah.
school. In order to actually get into the school where the kids are, you have to go through the office now. There's a set of doors that are locked
Okay.
at all
Yeah,
times.
My son's school's like that.
Yeah, which is nice. I mean, I like that a lot, but
But
Back when-
you can get out of any door. They just lock the
Right.
front door. They just lock the doors from getting
Yeah.
in. Okay.
Because when we were in high school,
oh, you
yeah.
just go in,
you
yeah,
can go
Free reign.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They
Mr.
just
Moss
skipped
gives
all the
all
pep
passes.
rallies.
Why don't you go pick up some?
That's
Some
they
donuts and orange juice.
just started locking the doors like right out of, you know how you get out of East Wing and you can get out of
Yeah.
the locker room doors and stuff. They just started locking those my senior year of high school. We were
Oh,
so
yeah.
mad because we
Yeah,
always had to walk around to the main office and go in. Oh, it's
Oh,
terrible.
especially when you parked over by the Steins room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that extra, 200 feet drove us nuts.
Now, is there a security officer at the high school now?
Yep. Well, there's one for the district.
Nate?
Yeah, he just kind of he does his rounds throughout the whole district. So he does Demonte High School and middle school.
Okay.
But
And that's pretty decent now because it's the
We're all
physical
right there.
plant is all pretty centralized.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
yeah.
Oh, so everything is
Everything.
consolidated now at ELC. So
Yeah.
all the elementary, the middle school, all is in that big
Demonte's
block.
Demonte, you have to walk a little bit, but but it's all typically it's all within walking distance.
Yeah.
God dang it,
'Cause
sorry.
I haven't even been in the new middle school yet. I mean, driven by and everything, but haven't gone inside.
Give you a tour one of these days.
Yeah,
Check
it's
it.
nice.
Check it out.
Where
Tour
is the new middle school?
just to the west,
Yeah,
like
it's
the
like-
west off of where
So like
Manise
where
was.
Manise was? Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, good old
Well, I
Manise
suppose
building.
They got a gym.
Classes have gotten smaller.
Yeah. So I don't. How many did you guys graduate with?
98.
Was it? Yeah, I was gonna say.
We had 105 when you include the Forest Ridge group.
Yeah.
Okay. So class sizes right now are in the elementary they're
Second
really
grade
low.
is
They're like 60. Yeah.
Wow.
60 and.
Wow.
Yeah.
The high school now has decent numbers. There's like 90 and 100. And, there's 120 last year in 8th grade, but that's an abnormally large class. So, but
We
coming
had-
up here, it's gonna.
We
look
had like
different.
120 or something when my parents helped junior year with prom, and we graduated under 100.
You know what happened to everybody? Well, I was like,
drop
Babies and
yeah.
factories and
Well, in a lot of
the
kids.
alternative school was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, a lot
Yeah.
of people went out
Yeah.
there and just got a GED or did their thing.
I mean, when your goal is not to go to college, you'd rather just jump into a factory job right away and start having a life.
Yeah.
Right on.
I can understand kids who want to skip out.
Mhm.
Yeah. That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
For sure.
I had fun. I think I was at the high school for like 2 classes my senior year.
I missed the elementary school though. That was fun.
Yeah. Demonte is drastically different.
Yeah,
I
they
haven't
just
been
redid that.
I haven't been inside of
I
it,
haven't.
but
It's incredible.
I haven't seen any of the schools since I haven't seen the new library at the high school.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
You
yeah, that's
are-
right, yeah.
you are
that was
way
new when
out
we
there.
were there, right?
'Cause
Yeah.
when I
our
graduated in 2000.
sophomore year or something.
Yeah, I
they
think it
opened
was. Yeah, it was being built like our freshman year.
Right, because I took a drunk person out of a dance onto the construction side of it, like
Oh,
out
yeah.
that door from the cafeteria. Snuck somebody
Yeah,
out.
those were the good old days, man. You could
You
go to
just
the
get
school
hammered.
dance, and yeah,
Yeah.
God, I
now they
remember.
breathalyze everybody, and
Do they really?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
started when
Wow.
that started our like junior year.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
We started breathalyzing everyone for every dance. Our prom, I think we got breathalyzed like 4 times.
oh yeah,
That's
Something
insane.
like
it was insane. Yeah.
Yeah, it's asinine.
And I still remember my first high school dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went with Don Varner, and he asked me if I wanted to, go cruising with him on the strip. I thought it was the coolest thing. Hey, I'm a high school kid now. I can cruise on the strip.
Yeah.
Back when Central had 4 lanes, and that's what
Oh, yeah.
people did. He had
Yep.
started Subway, and you go down and you turn around, and what's the vet clinic now? Go back up, and you just do that for hours and hours.
Right.
Wave at the girls in the next car.
That's right,
God,
yeah.
all the girls are high school girls are waving at me.
Oh yeah, those are good times. That breathalyzer thing was really lame though.
Oh yeah, I remember when it was Mrs. Bish that implemented it.
Yeah, I wrote a scathing article about it in the Pepper.
The peppers. We don't have that
Some
anymore.
editorial
Yeah, it's
critique.
probably my fault too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're just stomping all over civil liberties.
Civil
You know,
man.
there's, I think
School
there's
spirit.
a line
Yeah.
That's
between
Jewish.
letting kids be kids and trying to control them way too freaking much.
Yeah.
And you have to let kids screw around and get in trouble when they're in high school, otherwise they're gonna do it when they're in college and when it
Well,
matters.
and
Yeah.
like the corporal punishment that they put on kids for TPing,
Yeah.
like straight up good conduct policy violations, like no sports,
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
Wow.
We called the cops on ourselves
Yeah.
to have them chase
Oh yeah,
us.
the good conduct policy.
Don't run.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
A lot of rules.
also asinine.
Yeah.
Right. I know I've heard of some high schools now having like a designated TP day in place, so all the
Oh,
kids
really?
get together with the toilet paper and they can throw it into a tree, and then the janitor cleans it up the next day. I mean, it's not like those,
Those goddamn kids. Just see old Willie out there.
Yeah.
Shake-
Groundskeeper. Yeah.
But yeah,
that's
it's
funny.
I wouldn't want to be a kid growing up today.
let's nerf the world.
Me neither. I really wouldn't.
It is the nerf is the word for it.
Yeah.
Everything is too nerf.
Mm-hmm.
Where the kids running around in the woods behind Jimbo's house in robes with lightsabers.
Exactly.
Making a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, speaking of that, I have the VHS.
Yes.
It's in my
Hoping
car.
it's
Yeah.
existed.
I don't know if it works still,
Oh,
but
man, we gotta find
I
a
got
piece.
it. Somebody.
I've got one at school. I've got a VHS player at school.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to check it out sometime.
Folks,
Does it come on an AV cart?
No, I took to the TV.
Oh,
So,
damn, dude.
yeah, I got a TV in my room.
Remember the AV
Yeah,
carts?
wheel it in. It's like
Yes.
yeah.
Laser discs.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Still VHS.
Yeah.
Totally. I've got the
Jim and Amy Hamilton,
Hamilton
and
and was Craig.
Craig Moreau's
Craig Moreau's
involved.
in it. Yeah.
Yep. We made a Star Wars fanfic.
Yeah, we tried to at least.
I had like Coral's robe on.
Oh yeah, it was nuts. It's like wearing a robin's egg blue robe.
Super Jedi.
Yeah.
Like,
That was right when episode 1 came out, I think.
it was.
So,
Well, we were all
yeah.
hyped on it.
Yeah,
and
we
then
were like,
You guys must have been what, 12, 13 then?
yeah, ish,
Yeah.
I'd say.
'Cause I think that came out when I was a junior or senior in high school.
God, that was such a turd. I know Jim kind of likes it.
Yeah, I didn't mind the prequels as much as to me, the newest Star Wars. I feel like I've been abandoned by the Star Wars
Yeah.
franchise by and large.
I enjoyed the last movie.
Since
I must say I did.
when you say last one, do you mean Solo or do you mean
No, Solo was a turd.
the Jedi
Yeah, the
one? or
new-
The last of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good
I
film.
kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Solo, I thought was a big turd. I
Yep.
didn't like the kid who played Han. He wasn't cocky enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
I need a Harrison Ford type, and
Why'd you need Harrison Ford?
or just need Harrison Ford. Yeah,
I killed him off though.
I know. Straight up stabbed him. I don't like that Ben though. I don't like the Ben character all that well.
The Ben
From the
Kenobi.
ones, Ben Kenobi,
Yeah.
or what's he, Darth?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo
I
Ren.
see. I was never. I'm not a big Kylo Ren. He just seems like a big whiner.
Yeah.
He looks like a child Professor Snape.
I knew this was gonna
Exactly.
happen. Yeah.
Severus.
I knew this was gonna happen.
There's a crossover there
when
somewhere.
Disney took over the franchise.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, oh god, they're just gonna crank out a movie every 90 days.
Well, just
Yeah.
wait.
I will say that
wait till this new trilogy's over, and then it's really gonna start.
Ugh.
I did enjoy. It was the movie that predated the
Rogue One.
Yeah, I
Rogue
did
One
like
was
Rogue One.
solid.
That was a pretty solid.
That's
movie.
my favorite of the Disney era,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And it's way ahead of all the other ones for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and then I think I don't know.
Well, now it's just like, yeah, there's a new Star Wars movie. I'll catch it when it comes out on
yeah,
Netflix.
exactly.
Mhm.
I'm not waiting up. I mean, I sat in line for the midnight show for episode 1.
You probably threaded it up, didn't you?
No, Chris Burton was working though. I
Oh, was
remember.
he?
Yeah.
Nice.
I made fun of him for that years later. Hey, Chris.
Oh,
What
yeah.
happened to him?
Oh, he's.
He lives in Mankato. now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
gotta get him on here. Sometime.
Yeah, we gotta get.
Bring Bert around.
Yeah.
Oh, Bert.
Burton's funny,
He
Oh, yeah,
is.
Chris is a funny dude.
You loosen him up a little bit.
Yeah,
He's good stuff.
and he can talk any geek subject till the cows come home.
Yeah.
Comic books, superheroes, all
Nice.
that stuff. Yeah.
We talked superheroes for a good hour that one night.
Yeah, I'm superheroed out
That's
after that
true.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, I rethought my answers and I still liked them, so I'm good.
Yeah, because your 4 was Thor was one of them, and
Thor, Deadpool,
Deadpool.
Rorschach,
Yeah, Rorschach. Yeah.
and Spidey, I
Yeah. Makes sense.
I don't know, Betty and Veronica are still my two favorite superheroes.
Kyle, what about yours? Let's see.
I'm not a superhero
Kirk
guy.
Ferentz.
Yeah.
Fran McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Oh,
You like
Gary
Fran?
Dolphin,
No, not Gary Dolphin.
I can see
I
where
don't
Fritz
mind
goes
Fran.
away.
I
Ed
kinda
Podolak.
like Fran.
Yeah, I don't mind him.
I like how
his-
he's fiery.
Yeah, that's we need
You
something
know,
to be
show
kind of
some
a dick.
emotion.
Yeah.
His son's supposed to be the real deal, though. The
Oh,
new one coming up.
Yep,
Huh?
he's good.
4-star. I would
Yep.
get a 4-star recruit.
I watched him at state basketball last year, and he's just like head and shoulders above everybody else. He's a little raw, a little thin.
Is he
He's got,
tall?
oh yeah, he's like 6'10", 6'9", 6'10", something like that, and he's a guard, so he's, there'll be some matchup problems.
Run!
Next
Yeah.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, now plus 150 pounds maybe. He might be. No, Mount Rushmore would be Hayden Fry, Fran. Yeah, no, Lute Olson, Hayden Fry,
Tom Davis.
Tom Davis. Yeah, Final Four got him in there.
Yeah. The
Um,
coaches.
Bobby Knight.
Oh, I love Bob. Have you ever read his book?
No.
That's a great read. That made me want to be a basketball coach, and I never liked basketball.
Yeah, he was at a clinic. I can't remember if I went to the clinic or not. But it was the coach I coach with our head I'm an assistant basketball coach. And our head basketball coach Nick Ruki, he went to a clinic last year where Bobby Knight was speaking in Iowa, and he said he is absolutely completely off his rocker now. Like he repeats himself over and over
Oh,
again, and
man.
everybody was just kind of looking at each other, just like, is this really
Got like
going
dementia
on?
or
Yeah,
something.
he said it's
Man.
gotten really
He's got to
bad.
be getting up there, though. I mean, he was white haired 30 years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure he's pretty old. But, yeah, was Nick in your guys' grade?
You're the boss.
Yeah,
So,
he was
okay.
like 5, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Nick and I, well, you and I are basically Eskimo brothers now. Nick and I used to coach together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
With what?
Flag football.
Oh, jeez.
Flag football coaches.
Whoa, all
You
right.
need to watch out here.
Yeah.
I don't remember what her name was, but we had like 4 plays, and it all revolved around Nate Jensen.
Okay.
It was Jensen goes deep,
Yeah.
Jensen handoff,
Nate
Jensen
Jensen,
sneak, or like
Yeah.
yeah,
Run right, run left.
Yeah, like sweep either direction.
Yep.
Hail Mary.
exactly. Just throw it to Jensen. Let him do his thing.
Oh, that's
We
funny.
did the hook and ladder when they were in flag football.
Yeah, flag was fun.
Flag
Flag
was.
football was great, man. They used to have like 8 teams when I was there. I swear when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Beardsley and I were on a team together.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think Bill and Jim Senior were the coaches.
Oh, that'd be a funny odd couple.
Yeah. It was very fun.
Can you run the ball to the left?
I always played offensive line, and it made 0 sense because I weighed like 30
Dude,
pounds.
you were tiny.
Yeah, I remember Colby Warburg just like ringing my bell.
Well, you weren't even tall.
No, I
No,
was.
you were a short
I
kid.
He was
also-
scrawny.
I threw the shot put in
Short
8th grade. Same
That's right.
situation.
You were on the shot put squad with
Yeah.
me. I was in the field part of track and field.
Oh yeah.
I was just like one of those little tiny lap dogs that thinks it's a big, huge Doberman or something. Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right.
Well, I caught up to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you surpassed most of us.
That's funny.
Oh man. I saw the great white wolf the other day.
Yeah?
Truger.
The wolf, huh?
Wolfman.
Who was that?
Dean.
Dean
Dean
Truger.
Krug, yeah.
Oh,
Truger, man.
Mr. True.
He
Yep.
was-
Now, Kim.
He's just got this
No.
giant white beard,
Yeah.
man, and it's just fantastic.
Drive my truck through that one.
He used to, in shop, he would say, Gary! You know, come up here and he'd make me run some huge saw thing that was like I couldn't control it and stuff, and it was like super sketchy. Every time I'd have to be like the guinea pig for every single new
Oh yeah.
thing in machinery.
I think when I was in 4th or 5th grade, some parent tried to pick a fight with Mr. True.
Yeah, I heard about
Took a
that.
swing at him, and Mr. True just grabbed him by
Laid
the
him
throat,
out.
Yeah.
threw him into the pile of wood.
Yeah.
That was like the
That was the end of that.
That was like the second time he had to go to anger management. The third time was when he kicked Cole Beardsley in the butt.
I remember hearing about
I
that.
was a freshman. Cole was a sophomore. Dean was coaching sophomore, or like JV football, and Beardsley was just being worthless or something. So Dean just kicked him right in the ass in front of all the parents of the game. In front of all the parents, in front of everybody.
I can guarantee Cole had it coming.
Oh, he absolutely did. Cole's a turd. He was a little kid, you know.
Cole and I always had a love-fight relationship. We were either hanging out or fighting with each other.
Yeah.
We can get him on, man.
I know. We've been trying for weeks
Every
to get
time-
Cole on the podcast.
Every time we text him about it, he just
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, you guys and your podcast. I gotta go eat steak."
Yeah.
I hadn't been home for probably 7 months, and I certainly hadn't seen Cole in a good couple of years. And I ran into him twice in one day. Once eating chicken over at Pizza Ranch, and then for taco night here at Mother's. But he's got a big beard too.
Yeah.
Big beard.
Got a beard, got a kid. Yeah.
House.
House.
Homeowner.
Yep.
It's kind of fun to see all the people that grew up with having good lives.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun to see how people grow up and kind of mature in age. And
Mhm.
Well, it's fascinating how the kids you think of in high school who are like, wow, no, they're never gonna make it, don't. You
Yeah.
know,
yeah.
and the ones that like, obviously have a chance to do something successful.
And then the ones that surprise you.
Yeah.
Too.
That's
I think there are more surprises than people who met my expectations.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at that.
Oh no, totally.
There were some people who I really didn't think would amount to much who just shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Awesome for them.
Mhm.
And then there were a lot of people that I expected a lot of and just never
Yep.
saw it happen. I mean, because I don't know if you have higher expectations of people when you're a kid and
Yeah.
Sure.
you have kind of the rosy-eyed glasses of innocence
Right.
on, but and then a number of tragedies leave a lot of people
Any
in our
live
class.
chatters
Kind of
still?
way.
Mhm.
No chat yet. No. Three viewers, so I'm
Ooh,
one of them. I
you're
don't know who the
one.
other two
That's
are.
all right.
We had 4 at one time.
It's exciting.
Growing in popularity, basically taking off. I mean,
Yeah.
where's our
Basically taking off.
where's our YouTube? Our
Where's
tin
our-
YouTube.
Oh
thing?
yeah, I keep forgetting to make that. Our
Oh, the-
tinfoil play button
yeah.
for when we got 10 subscribers.
Now we got 15.
Yeah.
15. Wow.
Well, I'll have to subscribe.
Yeah.
There you go. There's 16.
16.
Planning.
Keep building.
Hey,
Well,
gotta start somewhere.
The Eric episode's got like 60 some views.
That's got the most, dude. He's watching it. Like,
You think he's just like going home after work and starting it fresh
let's
every
put it
night?
on.
Eric who?
Eric Hansen.
It's-
Okay.
I don't know if you would know him.
The name doesn't make
Did
sense.
you go to Christian
He
school?
went to Christian
Yeah.
school till like high school, and then he's a year older than Andy and
Is it Christian school still there on top of the hill?
Still there.
Building's there.
Building's
It's,
there,
no
yeah.
one's, yeah.
Oh, it's
It
no
closed
wonder.
down a while ago.
I. Yeah, make a good like a bunker site or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
You
my dream,
Place to prep.
if I get enough money one of these days, yeah, I'm gonna open up that restaurant up there, the drive-in thing. Did you remember it used to be called Grandma's Touch?
I was
Yes.
just gonna ask if you remember that they had best chicken strips.
Yeah.
Oh, and they had the little console on each table where you can hit a button and your waitress would come over.
Yeah.
And she had a little
Awesome.
change maker on her. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
those
That was a blast.
hardcore
from the past.
throwback. I remember that.
Yeah.
Very young, like 5,
Right.
being
Yeah.
out there. But yeah, I mean, Grandma's Touch. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of
don't call it Grandpa's Touch.
I was thinking maybe like
That
Uncle's
sounds
Touch.
creepy.
How about
Uncle's
how about
Touch.
Uncle's Touch? What do you think of
Uncle Touch, here's naked puzzle basement. You'll take your shirt off and cry.
Would you like some chicken strips?
that? There you go.
I'll try for you.
Uncle's Touch. That's rough, man.
But it's my dream to just be like smoking a cigarette, wearing an apron, no shirt on, frying
What
somebody's
you-
eggs.
what
Hear
you
that?
want,
What do you
honey? You gotta get
Did
some.
Tim Shear have that after Grandma's Touch for a while?
He might have.
He might have.
But
He
it was
might
a
have done
restaurant
his
after
ca-
Grandma's
He
Touch.
might have done
wasn't
his
Yeah, it
catering
was.
out of there.
Could be, yeah.
Dude, his
Something.
lunches are bomb.
it? I've
man.
heard that his barbecue's phenomenal.
Yeah, just-
Actually, no, we've had it a couple times. It is phenomenal.
Yep, all summer
I've heard
long.
it's growing a lot.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think he
Hmm.
cooks lunches. Do you get lunch breaks?
The
as
school?
a teacher?
6 minutes.
So yeah, pretty much.
Do you guys still have like stupid amounts of passing time? Like, you got 3.62 minutes to get to your
Yeah.
next class.
There is
Take a
passing
piss,
time,
get
yeah.
some water.
Get to
Yeah.
the locker, yeah.
No, we like I have lunch and recess duty, which drives me nuts, and I won't have it for very much longer, thank God. But
High school.
oh, yeah. So like, if I have a duty, like I have to watch the kids during lunch or recess, I only get like.
I was just
If I have to
saying,
do-
you wash your hands.
Yeah. Ha ha.
What time do you like? Is it always on the same day of the week?
Usually, yeah.
What day is
It's
it?
usually Wednesday, Thursday.
What time?
12:15 to about 12:35, and then my lunch is like 12:40 to 1.
Wednesdays, you said?
Why you writing this down?
12:15 to about 12:35. That's pretty specific.
Viewers deserve to know.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
Sorry. Yeah.
Viewer.
I'm gonna drive by and honk.
Yeah.
Hi, Kyle.
Hi, I have an hour lunch. How are you?
Thought I'd just cruise around for
Yeah,
a while, maybe
yeah.
go home, take a nap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have an hour lunch now. I've never had an hour lunch before, and it's
Isn't it something?
it's great. Yep, just go have a business lunch with Jimbo, or
Yeah, you bet.
go home and eat in 5 minutes, and then
Watch TV or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the way to do it.
it is.
They need to
Take
be
a lunch
nicer.
and nap
to
in the
you.
parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they need to be nicer to you teachers. Give you a little bit more time to eat. I mean, my gosh.
You
Yeah.
get
20 minutes.
to deal with
twice a week.
children.
You know, it's awful.
Is that the toughest part of the job? Is the class management stuff, or is it?
Not for me.
Yeah.
It depends on you.
I mean, don't you really just have to put your lessons plan together at once, then you can just recycle it every year?
Essentially, yeah. Depending on like if it's your. Why you
What?
baited me into this, didn't you?
I didn't do
You.
Jim's just sitting there.
I was gonna say, depending on if your standards change or not. I wasn't gonna talk about
There's
standards.
standards, huh?
Uh,
So everyone has to learn the same thing?
essentially, yeah.
Oh.
And the state tells you.
I mean, we could table this whole conversation.
Yeah, maybe
until
we should.
next
Yeah,
time.
till we
Yeah.
get some more teachers.
Because that is a
on.
pretty in-depth.
I just watched
Yeah.
that.
Discussion.
I just watched like a vein pop.
Oh man, I get heated.
Well,
Like,
There's some baggage with this conversation too. 'Cause
Okay.
I've trolled him in the past
Regarding the
with
standards,
this, the school stuff, because I kind of know enough about it to
be dangerous.
yeah,
be dangerous. Yeah, so.
drives me nuts.
Oh, I get it.
S-
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about work when they don't
right,
have to.
I know
yeah.
it. I know
A
it.
fun middle school science story though. Jim and I
Mr. Hanson.
had Mr. Hanson,
Oh yeah, this is a good
and
one.
we had an assignment to do a presentation. That was the only. You just have to do a
What was
presentation.
that called again? Was it the?
It was some big
Something
acronym. He had an acronym for it.
It's your
Your
PIOT.
Your PIOT.
That's right.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
PIOT.
PIOT,
Yeah.
And
Sorry, I got really
the,
excited there.
the only requirement was you had to go 20 minutes, and
Jeez.
there was no cap on it, and you got more points the longer you went. So Jim and I, we only got through desktop, so we had a plan. We were going to go through laptops,
Yep.
monitors, printers, and
Yep.
and we just brought in a desktop and sat it down. We didn't plan anything out,
Nope.
and we just started
Start
taking
taking
parts
it
out.
apart.
Just started taking parts out.
This is a RAM.
Talking
This
all
is a
about it. This
motherboard.
is RAM. RAM stands for Random Access
Access
Memory.
Memory.
And this is
Yep.
for, and we talked for 4, maybe 5.
It was
It
damn
might have
near a
been
week.
a whole week
yeah.
of science class of just Jimbo and I talking. We got like 180%.
And then we
on
had
it.
the Q&A section.
We had a
You're
Q&A
just
section.
sitting-
Anything you guys want, come on, bring it. Let's talk.
Now I can almost
Are
guarantee
there any
you
questions about porn?
that was just Mr. Hanson not wanting to do crap for
Oh,
that
yeah.
entire week. You know,
Whatever happened to him?
You just let us go.
he retired. I think he's living in Spirit Lake.
Kenny, he
Just
always
fishing
lived
or
at the
something.
lakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
doing what he wants to do. Which
Well,
is
Kenny.
awesome.
Yep.
He was always good at that.
Yeah.
Let's start him stretch.
Mhm.
I still, what drives me, like, I teach with some teachers who work with Kenny, and like my sternum pops all the time. So I do it, I crack
Yeah,
it,
us too.
and then the teachers are like, you know, doing a double take. This,
Kenny Hansen.
yeah,
incarnate.
yeah, pretty much.
You've turned into Kenny Hansen.
Yeah.
I asked him what a pap smear was once a day. He told me to go home and ask my dad.
It's actually a schmear.
Got me thinking about beggars.
Oh, that's funny.
I got a jet cats.
Okay. Yeah, we
Alright.
could probably
Yeah.
wrap her up.
Yeah, I better get home too. I haven't had lunch.
Yeah, I need to get. I haven't showered yet from the wellness center, so
Jeez.
I'm kind of stinky.
What happens?
Okay, that's it. Thanks.
All right, people. Good to
Bye.
see you.
People.
person.